petrol companies have been put on notice about high prices at the pump, with the government fast-tracking new powers for the Commerce Commission to investigate the market. The latest report shows pre-tax prices in New Zealand have gone from being some of the lowest in the OECD to the highest over the past 9 years. It also concludes petrol companies are profiting at the expense of consumers to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Here's our political editor, Jane Patterson.
Despite several reports, officials still can't say why petrol prices have risen so much, but they conclude it could only be because fuel company margins have been increasing. But the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment has recommended giving the Commerce Commission new powers to carry out a market study and the ability to obligate companies to release information. The government now intends to fast-track legislation, making the required changes to the Commerce Act and have it in place by the end of next year. The Energy Minister Megan Woods says petrol prices need further examination.
People have noticed this, the different prices that they can get in different parts of the country or even sometimes in different parts of their own city, and people just fail to understand why. But what this report lays bare, and is incredibly concerning to me, is the hundreds of millions of dollars of wealth transfer from New Zealanders' pockets to the fuel companies.
Megan Woods is also considering further shorter-term measures.
And this ranges from, some pretty basic things like monitoring, but having some transparency like that, sometimes nothing like a bit of sunshine shone in to actually change behaviours, right through to thinking about what the barriers of entry are in the wholesale and retail market.
A report given to the government earlier this year contained incomplete pricing information after some fuel companies refused to cooperate. The Commerce and Consumer Affairs Minister Chris Farfoy says getting good market information is key.
If we give the ability for the Commerce Commission to conduct the market study, we're also saying that they should be able to self-initiate if they think that a market isn't working properly, then they will be able to get that information.
National's Jonathan Young says the government has just picked up work started by the national government. He questions whether ministers are now acting quickly as they claim.
Are they fast-tracking it? Actually, I think they're going really slow because today's report out is not much different than the one that came out in July, so they've had 5 months to consider it. And I simply think that New Zealand motorists are losing out, really. I think if they'd made faster progress, if they'd put this Commerce Act amendment into the first 100 days, then we might be sending the right signals now.
Dave Bodger from Gull says it's a fair outcome and he believes the Commerce Commission will treat all industry players equally. Gull didn't provide all of the information requested for the earlier report, but Mr Bodger says the proposed inquiry will be a different situation.
As a small company, we were tardy in giving information, and we did give some information. We didn't have a lot of the information that was requested, and there was quite a hurried approach to the inquiry. I think if you've got a level approach from the Commerce Commission, then they will be able to sit there and say, we want this from everybody, and also require that from everybody. We had no idea if everybody was playing by the same rules when we were submitting last time.
Z Energy says it welcomes the prospect of an inquiry into the fuel business. The oil company says it understands the public interest in energy pricing and will participate fully in any independent study of the industry. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Jane Patterson.